Earlier today, I was lucky to spend a few hours in the presence of a 1957 Goldtop Les Paul, a 1959 Burst, courtesy of Clive. Thank you, Clive. And along with that, we had Aynsley Lister come to play the guitars here through a few of the different amps that I've got. So I'm going to release 3 videos of these comparisons. We compare the 3 guitars. Today will be the Matchless HC30. We also did it with the 2-Rock Classic Reverb Signature and Aynsley Lister's own signature amp, the Rift Aynsley Lister amp, which is possibly my favorite ever amp that I've played with. And the point of this is you're going to hear the differences, and at the end of each video I'll tell you a little bit about what I thought. I also played the guitars myself. I didn't play them very much, we didn't have a lot of time, and trust me, it's nerve-wracking playing in front of your teacher, who's also a professional, heavily seasoned professional player who is playing in front of you and sounds incredible. It's very difficult to follow that, so I sort of stumbled around a little bit and played a little bit, which I'll talk about in another video. Let's go ahead and listen to this these 3 guitars with the Matchless, and I'll come back and talk about it afterwards. So before Clive came along with the two guitars, Aynsley and I had a little bit of a chat over breakfast, and we were wondering to ourselves whether it's possible for a guitar to match up to the dream and the value, sort of cultural value, historical value, financial value that these two vintage Gibson Les Pauls have. Is it possible? Now, we were both sort of worried that we'd meet our heroes and it would shatter our illusion that there was something special about these, or some of these old guitars, these, you know, legendary era of Gibson, this sort of golden era. Well, when the guitars came in, we plugged in, I had a little go first, and then I passed it over to Aynsley, and I didn't even have to think for a second whether this is unique to a 59 Les Paul Burst or a 57 Goldtop, or it's just that these are two incredible examples of old Les Pauls. It doesn't really matter. But I've never heard such clarity and a finesse met with grunt and power when needed, and the amount of dynamics that you could get out of this. Now, safe to say I wouldn't have been able to portray this by myself, hence these demos are being done by Aynsley, and that was my plan, that in this case, I know my channel is generally about showing what an average player can do, and hopefully a lot of you find that you relate to that. Well, today I wanted to give you guys something that you don't normally get, which is to hear someone like Aynsley playing these things instead of myself. And I hope you're okay with that. You know, the plan for this was to show the instruments off to their best and to get a real idea for what they can sound like, and standing in the room listening. Obviously, we're playing through some incredible amps here. This Matchless amp is so 3D in sound. The reverb isn't really working at the moment, so there's no reverb on my Reverb Matchless amp, and yet the harmonic richness and quality that comes through is incredible, and it really showed off these guitars. Now, in terms of playing the two, they're a different experience to play. The 59 Burst was really light, much lighter than I thought. The neck was nowhere near as beefy as I thought it would be, and the ability to go from finesse to grunt was even more than I expected. My own R9 goes from pretty low output, and then the taper on the pots isn't that good, and it goes straight to wallop. And on this 59, there is a lovely linear feeling to it all. On top of that, the quality of the sound is much richer. It's not brighter, but it's more articulate, it's less muffled. There's no muffledness. It's a beautiful instrument that allows you to show off everything you want it to play as you play. I mean, I was watching Aynsley's fingers and seeing what he was meaning to do, and I was listening and hearing it come out of the amp. And so between the amp and the guitar, it was great. The Goldtop is a weakness of mine, but it seems everyone. I mean, I think Clive himself might admit that the Goldtop is his favourite. It's got beautiful, beautiful aged looks to it. It's got a nice big neck, but it's actually not as big as I thought it would be, and it's more shapely and more fun to play than I thought it would be. Possibly the best guitar I've ever heard, and if I had the money out of the two, I'm already telling you this, I'd go for this one. So I'm going to talk a bit more about this in the video I do about my experience, whereas this is more about you know, comparing the three guitars. Well, all I can say so far, and I'll follow this up in the next two of these videos, is that the R9 was okay. When I've only heard the R9, you know, before today, I loved my R9. I still love it, but it's not the same as these two guitars. I'm going to go more into that after the next two videos so you can hear all the different comparisons. So anyway, thank you for watching, and yeah, I've really had a privilege you know, being able to play and to listen to these guitars in person. And for now, that's all I'm going to say. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll be back very soon with the next part, so I'll see you then. Cheers.